Good morning. Welcome in. We'll have Kyle Morris in 5 minutes. Played football for the Florida Gators. Owner Live Oaks Golf Club and the Reed House, their new event venue. Beautiful. Dropped right in there between the beautiful Live Oaks at Live Oaks Golf Club, the Reed House. We had our awesome Out of Bounds charity party there a month and a half ago. And we had a blast. It's beautiful. And I was there on Sunday. My son played a little golf, and I decided to ride shotgun in the golf cart. The course looks great, especially for this time of year. And Kyle and his team have done a great job. Live Oaks Golf Club, Highway 49 North. The Roosevelt, the restaurant's kicking. So they've got Roosevelt, the restaurant, up front. And in the back, they now have the Reed House. Weddings, corporate parties, reunions, charity events. The Reed House at Live Oaks. Welcome in. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Love for you to enter to win, to possibly win this New Orleans Saints hat that is signed by their star linebacker, Demario Davis. He's number 56. He is a phenomenal player and a good dude. Demario Davis signed this hat. And we're giving it away. And here's how you enter. Show us that you're subscribed to the podcast. Either just screenshot. Apple Podcast, search the Out of Bounds Show. Hit subscribe. Spotify, search the Out of Bounds Show. Podbean, search the Out of Bounds Show. And then text us, Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. You can hit us up on Twitter at Bo Bounds or Facebook, search the Out of Bounds Show. So it is a signed New Orleans Saints cap. It's signed by Demario Davis, star linebacker for the Saints. Saints play at 3:40 on Sunday. And this is the last ride for number 9, Drew Brees.
Right now, just put it all on the line. What round does he lose in?
Oh, wow.
Because we all know he's not winning it. Just go ahead and tell me.
I think they go the Super Bowl. Yeah. I don't know how much confidence I have.
You don't believe that, not at all.
Saints, Packers, Seahawks. Saints, Packers.
Hot take.
Saints, Packers, Seahawks.
They have to beat. So if the Saints win, in theory, they would play the Seahawks if they were to beat the Rams. So they'd have to play the Seahawks. They're going to beat Seattle. They would play in the Dome.
That's big.
Yeah, because the Saints are number 2. So they'll play in the Dome until the title game, or NFC title game, essentially.
Wow.
Against Green Bay and Lambeau.
Yes, they can beat Seattle at home.
Can they beat Green Bay in Lambeau?
They can, but as we've discussed, that's going to be – would Sean Payton go up there and commit to the run?
Maybe. Mike Detillier said this is the season that he's done it more than any other.
Duke says on the Mississippi Ag text line, they beat the Bears, and then it's over.
Yeah. You just get one nice win. Y'all enjoy it. I understand.
Yeah.
It's tough. End of an era.
Wow. Are you rubbing salt in the wound?
Let me ask you this question.
You're having fun with this.
I am. Let me ask you this question.
You know you're selfish.
That's fine. What chances do you give that the Saints return to the Aints post Drew Brees?
They're not going to go that to two. When I was a kid in 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, when I was going to Saints games, they were going 2-4. It was miserable. It was and it's really what I blame them for turning me off from the NFL.
No, I get
literally.
it. I get it.
Because my aunt had tickets. It was easy to go. She lived down there, and it got to the point. It was just miserable. And so I really checked out. They were going 2-14.
Yeah.
But
no,
there
I understand.
Are people that don't, and so, but people have forgotten now. All they do is win. All they do is go to the playoffs. It is incredible. I don't think Sean will always dance around 8-8, but man, he's got to find a quarterback, and it's not Jameis Winston, and it's not Taysom Hill. I'd like for it to be Dak Prescott. I'd love for Dak to move to New Orleans, but that's not going to happen. I guess Jerry Jones is going to screw this thing up even more. Offer Dak $100+ million. Dak will stay with Dallas, and Jerry and them will continue to make bad football, great business decisions, being worth $10, $15 billion. Well, at least I would say 15. But terrible football decisions. And I mean, look, he's tapped Kellen Moore's now his new guy. Jason Garrett was his guy 10 years ago. But all right, so I just rambled for a little while. Hopefully the Saints will make it to the Super Bowl, and they'll play somebody other than the Chiefs, and maybe they can win it. Like the Bills, even though the Bills are really good too, I recognize that. And there could be – who would be the Chiefs on the AFC side before we go to Kyle? Chiefs.
I mean, Bills. To me, it's Chiefs and Bills.
Is that it?
Do you feel any confidence in Pittsburgh or Baltimore?
I don't, even though those teams, all they do is win.
Cleveland?
No.
Does that give you any
no.
Cleveland has to play Pittsburgh week 1.
Without their head coach.
And potentially without some players.
Right.
Yeah.
So COVID has hit the Cleveland Browns. Their head coach will not coach this weekend.
Yeah. No. There's nobody else. I mean, yeah, to me, it's Bills, Chiefs, and then it's Packers. Tampa Bay, maybe? I don't think the Saints can do it.
Okay.
Well, that's Kyle.
Out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone. We welcome in Kyle Morris, owner of Live Oaks Golf Club and the Reed House. And Kyle played football for the Florida Gators. We just had Kyle. We just had Steve Spurrier Jr. on at 7:30 this morning, and of course he's on Mike Leach's staff. I would have to believe that you remember him in the late 80s at Florida.
Yeah, good morning, Bo. Yeah, in 90 when Spurrier first came to Florida from Duke, Bubba was playing at Duke, and so he was hanging around. And then I think, when he graduated Duke, he came on and I think worked as a graduate assistant. So he was around the program, and then obviously has done a really good job and everywhere he's been, and has become a really good receivers coach. And look, he's going to get his chance one day, and he'll probably be, if he can round up all those kids, and keep them in check, he'll probably, be a head coach one day somewhere.
Yeah, we messed with him a little bit about having 7 kids, and he said, "Yep, I've got a basketball team and 2 cheerleaders."
Well, I guarantee you the household right now is arguing over who's going to be the 2 cheerleaders.
And he said he had his triplets in. He has them at the house right now. They're 20 years old, the triplets, and they all went to dinner last night. So I thought that was
that's got to be fun. It's got to be fun, or hopefully they're good kids. I'm sure he's raised them right, but it could be fun or a nightmare, one or the other.
Sure. Kyle Morris on the Out of Bounds Show, Live Oaks Golf Club and the Reed House. Let's talk quarterbacks. How about Kyle Trask? Really, nobody wanted him out of high school, and he was determined to play at Florida, and things happen. McElwain eventually gives him a shot, buried on the depth chart. I don't think anybody really thought he would ever play, Kyle, and then you see what happened, how Dan Mullen developed him. I think it's a great story. Your thoughts?
Unbelievable story. It's of course, he was behind King in high school, King, a 5-star quarterback, and, Trask just wrong place, wrong time. And so doesn't get much look. He goes to a football camp. Florida notices him. He gets an offer. I think Dallas Baptist was the other offer he got out of high school. But he got an offer from Florida off of a camp and potential, and he winds up at Florida, certainly buried on the depth chart, a lot of talent there. And, it's just there's just so many things can go different ways. If Felipe Franks doesn't break an ankle, then, Kyle Trask is getting ready to be a junior high gym coach next year. And how many times does this happen, Bo? I mean, think of all the players that you never hear of because they never get that lucky break. I heard, when he was on a minute ago, Bubba was talking about when hard work meets opportunity. You know, if Dak Prescott didn't get drafted, if he didn't drop to the Cowboys and get drafted by the Cowboys and Romo doesn't get hurt, you know, Dak's a great player, but if he never gets that chance, nobody knows.
Right.
You know, and so it's just there's so much luck involved in being in the right place, right time, right coach to give you an opportunity that goes into it. But Trask is an unbelievable story, great kid, and really happy for him and the legacy he's left at Florida, because he'll have that forever.
Sure. Kyle Morris, Live Oaks Golf Club, the Reed House on the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're talking quarterbacks. Kyle Trask, an amazing story down at Florida. You mentioned Dak, and you played quarterback your whole life. Spurrier Jr. hit on that. Preparing to step up. Will Rogers was a true freshman at Mississippi State this year, Kyle. KJ Costello goes down, then goes down again, and Will prepares for the moment. I heard Trent Dilfer talking about it a couple weeks ago. He talked about when he was in the league, some backup quarterbacks would prepare to play and some would not. Just talk about watching Will Rogers as a true freshman with everything that was going wrong there for a while, him stepping in and being prepared to play both mentally and physically.
Yeah, it's a lot of times you only get one shot, and if you're not prepared, then that shot goes. And had Kyle Trask not been prepared last year, they're moving on, and then you see Emory Jones probably, and we might be talking about Emory Jones that way. But certainly Rogers, coming from his background playing, I'm pretty sure his dad was his coach, but he grew up in a coaching family, and so he's seen it. He's heard it. He's been prepared. Certainly going into his freshman year at Mississippi State, a lot of things played into it. You've got COVID, so this year isn't going to count. So there's a better chance you probably get playing time, whatever KJ does. But then for KJ to go out and Mississippi State have the game they had against LSU, and everybody's talking about KJ could win a Heisman. So Rogers is sitting in the room thinking, okay, here I am, an 18, 19-year-old freshman, 20-year-old freshman, but I've still got to be mentally tough enough to make the sacrifices to prepare myself so if I get that opportunity. And that's tough to do. There's pretty girls walking around, and there's parties going on.
Heck, yeah.
There's other distractions that you've got to ignore, because this is what you've worked your whole life for. This is what you've dreamt about. And unfortunately for 95% of the kids out there, when your college is over, that's it. But it's hard to make that decision to discipline yourself to be ready for that opportunity when you're that age, because there's a whole lot of stuff going on that's fun and you're ready to participate, but you've got to say, no, this is what I've worked for. And no doubt Will has done an unbelievable job and had just a fabulous season in tough situation with all of the noise around Mississippi State and all of the negativity coming from outside. And, it appears he just kept his head down. Even when things went well, he was a steady point on that team, and that is so impressive for a young kid, in the leadership role on that team.
Kyle Morris on the Out of Bounds Show, owner of Live Oaks Golf Club, talking quarterbacks. I didn't know this, Kyle. He tweaks his ankle, misses a week of practice, then gets COVID, misses 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden he's a starter. And that's without a spring as a true freshman.
Yeah, and look, there's no doubt there's talent there. You get a brilliant mind in Leach, that's in his ear every day. So he's absorbing, he's learning, but it's still about reps. It's still about seeing it. It's still about just being athletic, seeing it and letting your body take over. It's all muscle memory. And so reps are what's important, because if you look at Leach has never had a young quarterback play.
No.
And just I mean, I don't know what that situation is there in Starkville, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rogers wasn't a starter next year. You know, because I guarantee you're going to get some junior or senior that's pretty highly thought of that, you know, thinks he can, you know, be the next Garner Minshew and transfer in. And that's when I talk about it's about reps. It's about having that game experience that I could see somebody transferring in and playing next year and then Rodgers taking over after that. But Rodgers, you know, look, if Rodgers plays for the next 4 years, which he still can, and he has 5 years of stats in that offense,
Good grief.
it's going to explode the record book. Much like they could happen at North Carolina. Their kid,
Yeah.
you know, was a freshman last year, put up big numbers. This year doesn't count. He, you know, it's like this year doesn't even count, but they count the stats. So COVID's going to screw a lot of record books up.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Kyle Morris, the Reed House, Roosevelt's, Live Oaks Golf Club, all on Highway 49 North. Kyle joins us on the Abita Amber guest line. All right, we were out there Sunday. My son played a little golf. Beautiful day, by the way. We've actually caught some good weather in January. It'll be hit and miss until March, as you know. But tell us what's going on at the Reed House and at Live Oaks, Kyle.
Well, you know, the Reed House, COVID obviously has everything slowed down a little bit. We're calling audibles on our business plan every day, just adjusting and being able to react and find out what our customers want and need. And so Catherine is working hard. She's probably given 20 tours a week. People looking at it, planning. We've got people planning out into 2023 for events. So a lot going on there in the golf course. You know, our staff, Trey Bowler, has done a fabulous job as superintendent with our golf course. And we're in good winter shape. You know, it's always tough this time of year with the cold and the rain. But we're just trying to get better every day. It's funny, my whole staff just, you know, when I walk in, they're like, coach us up, you know, because everything is related around coaching. Everything is, I send them motivational videos all the time, whether it's Nick Saban or whoever, you know, but we just got to get better today and be ready to take advantage because the golf course is in great shape. We've got a lot of interest. We're going to increase our membership this spring. Last year, you know, our guest rounds were up 70% over a year ago.
Wow.
Which that is, you know, majority of that is COVID related because everybody's at the house and, hey, I can get out on 300 acres and ride around and hit a golf ball and drink a cold beer. Why not? Let's go. So we had a lot of new golfers, a lot of young golfers getting in there. So we're just trying to prepare ourselves to be ready for any opportunity. Hey, we're the backup quarterback in Jackson just sitting there. We're waiting for our opportunity, and when people show up, we're going to be ready to give them a good product and take care of them and hopefully keep them around for a long time. So we're excited at Live Oaks. Roosevelt's got the restaurant back open. That's difficult during the COVID because a lot of people have changed their habits. So we got to get them back used to coming to the restaurant and Sunday afternoons with our plate lunch and the rest of the week with our grill and our sandwiches and chicken. And so we got a lot going on. I got to get to work.
Kyle Moore, well, here's what my takeaway. Control what you can control, and that's what y'all are doing, and you're doing a great job. Kyle Morris, Live Oaks Golf Club, the Reed House, and Roosevelt's. The number is 601-982-1231, 982-1231. Kyle, we appreciate it. We'll do it again soon, man.
I got it, Bo. When they go in, tell them to go into Reed House and see my girl Donna and give her a big roll tide. She's a big Alabama fan, so I think Bama will boat race Ohio State Monday, and she'll be excited.
There you go. Donna at the Reed House. Roll Tide. Be good, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Good deal. Thank you.
Kyle Morris, Live Oaks Golf Club, Roosevelt's, that's the restaurant. And then the Reed House is the new event venue for weddings, rehearsal dinners, charity events, reunions, and business corporate outings at the Reed House. 601-982-1231. Blake, I didn't realize that that Will Rogers missed a week. This is incredible. He missed 3 weeks of practice for the season. He missed a week for tweaking. He got no spring. True freshman. Missed a week on a tweaked ankle, gets COVID, and goes home or whatever, leaves for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden he's playing by was it the Arkansas game? I can't remember. And maybe Kentucky game. And then he's the starter against Vanderbilt.
Yep.
I think it was. Was
the
that his first start, Blake?
Started the rest of the way.
Okay.
Yep.
So he started at Vanderbilt after missing a week for a tweaked ankle, 2 weeks because of COVID. He true freshman, no spring practice. Young man played. Just amazing football. And a bunch of them, again, they didn't even know where anything was on campus. I mean, Wiley, true freshman. Marks, true freshman. Johnson, true. Will, true. And Tulu. That's a wild story right there. You know,
isn't it funny though how Kyle mentioned about Kyle Trask being ready to play? It's the same with Will and the same with Dak. Isn't that an interesting trend? You know, it goes through and he's right. You know, guys in the league, you can tell sometimes all of a sudden a guy gets put in and that guy's clearly not ready, you know?
Well, I thought John Rice Plumlee did a great job last year being ready mentally when Matt Corral got hurt.
Yeah.
John Rice Plumlee did not go through spring practice because he played baseball at Oak Grove.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a spring practice year before last. Matt Corral gets hurt. John Rice Plumlee comes in because he had prepared the right way to play.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's easy
and Garrett
to point
Schrader
out.
did the same thing.
It's easy to point out when you see it, but so many times you don't have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many programs do we see where they cycle through guys on a 3, 4, 5 year period and can't find anybody who seems to be ready to play, you know, prepared and ready with that mindset of like, I'm going to come in and we're going to win football games.
Trent Dilfer said, he said, you see it around the league. There are guys that do it, and they're even at that level, there are guys that don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's been some backup quarterbacks who have spot started over the years and had a chance to make $60, $70 million.
Yeah, Chase Daniels in like the 40-something million range. He's only started like 4 games.
Yeah. Fitz Magic.
Yeah, well, that's crazy.
But there's some others.
Yeah.
Live in the Bank Plus studio, the Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Capital Preservation Services. Todd Martis and his team want to help you increase revenue and minimize tax liability. They work with medical professionals, lawyers, and business owners like you. Capital Preservation Services, CPS. Todd Martis, his team, will help you earn more and keep more with Capital Preservation Services. Google it today or go to cpsllcms.com. They're helping professionals, medical professionals, lawyers, and business owners earn more and keep more. Capital Preservation Services. Capital Preservation Services.